Hello, what I wanted to do in this video is just walk you through a Java program that uses two separate methods within that program. So our program specification is that average acceleration is defined as the change in velocity divided by the time taken to make the change as shown in the formula listed here. So it's the average acceleration equals the ending velocity minus the beginning velocity divided by time. So we're going to go ahead and write a program that displays the average acceleration based on that formula. The program will include two methods, a display description, which is a method that displays what the program will do, and a calculate acceleration method that calculates and returns the average acceleration given the user inputs. So we're going to go ahead and name our class average acceleration. And then I've also provided some test data that we're going to use to test our program once we've created it. So first thing we need to do is to go into JGrasp, and let me just go ahead and open that up. So we have JGrasp opened up, and what I've done is I've actually created a little template. And what this template includes is just, I have an import for the scanner, since most of the programs were prompting the user to enter input, and then I just have the public static main method in that template. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and I will create a new Java file, so new Java, and I'll just paste this information in there. And the first thing I need to do is to just go ahead and change my class name to average acceleration. And then I will go ahead and save my program now. So I'll click on the Save button. It has the correct name, and I'll just save it in my Java directory. So let me just go ahead and click on Save. So you could tackle this program one of two ways. You could actually go into your main and write all of the code, including the calls to the methods, or you could go outside of the main method and write the two methods that are required for this program. So I am going to do that first. So what we're going to do here is we need a method to display the description. So it'll be a public static, and it'll be a void method because we will not be returning any information. And we'll give it a name, display description, and we're not going to be passing any arguments into our method, so I'm not going to specify any arguments. I'll put my opening and closing curly braces, and then all we're going to do within this method is we're just going to display a message to the user. So we'll just use a simple system.out.println, and then we'll just type up this program calculates average acceleration. And then we'll put our closing semicolon. And then what I'm going to do after that is I'm just going to add in an empty println statement. So there is some space between the description of the program and the prompts to the user for the various variables that we need. So the other function that we're going to create is the calculate acceleration function. So this will be a public. It will be a static, and then what it will be returning is a data type of type double. So that's our return type, and then we will go ahead and type in our method name, calculate acceleration, and then we need to specify our parameter list. So we'll have a double, and what that'll be is our initial velocity, so I'm just going to call it V0. and then another double, and that will be our ending velocity. I'll just give it a name of v, and then finally our time. Again, that will be a double, and that will be our time variable that the user will input. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to write the implementation for our function. So we're going to set up a double, and that's going to be our acceleration, and that will equal to our velocity minus our v0, so that is our ending velocity minus our ending velocity, and then we're going to divide by time. So again, what we need to do is we need to put this information, this calculation in parentheses, since we want this calculation to be performed first before we divide by time. And then since we're returning a double, I need a return statement. So I will just go ahead and return my acceleration, which is a, and then I have to remember to add in my semicolons. So those are our two methods. So we've defined our methods. So what we can do is we can now go into our main method and write the code for that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to call our display description method so that it'll go ahead and display the line to the user. So let me just go ahead and type that in. So all we need to do is just call our display description method. We're not passing in any arguments to the method, as the method does not denote any parameters within its method signature. So what that'll do is that'll call the display description method. It'll print this program calculates average acceleration. It'll print a blank line, and then it'll execute the next statement. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and create our scanner object. So it'll just be SCNR, and again, you can use any variable name for your scanner. And then it's a new, and it is a scanner object of the scanner class. And then we need to go ahead and specify system in. Okay, so we have our scanner. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to declare our variables that are local to our main method. And since they're all doubles, I'm going to declare them within one line of code. So it'll be a double, starting velocity, ending velocity, and then our time, and then our acceleration. Okay, as long as the variables are of the same data type, you can declare them on a single line, or you can declare them on multiple lines. If you declare them on multiple lines, you always must first specify the data type. So we've gone ahead, we've created our variables. So what we're going to do is we're going to prompt the user for input. So we will go ahead and I'm just going to add a comment here. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just type in calling display description method, and then we'll prompt the user for input. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a system.out.print, and we'll have enter the starting velocity, and make sure and add that extra space so when they enter the information it's not scrunched against our colon. And then I will go ahead and store that in my starting velocity variable, so that'll equal, we are actually doing a scanner and we're grabbing the next double. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this couple lines of code a couple more times. So we're going to enter the starting velocity. We're going to enter the ending velocity. That will be ending right there. And then enter the time. And we'll save it to our time variable. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is call the calculate acceleration function. Method. So, and since this function or method will be returning a value, this is where we're going to go ahead and get our value for our acceleration variable that we've declared up above. So it will just be acceleration, and that will equal, and then calculate acceleration, and then we need to list the parameter or the arguments that we're going to be passing in. So it's starting velocity, ending velocity, and time. Okay, so those arguments will get passed in to our calculate acceleration function. V0 will hold our starting velocity, the V parameter will hold our ending velocity, and the T parameter will hold our time. And again, you want to make sure that the information you're passing into your method matches what it should be when you calculate the acceleration. So you do not want to be passing, the way we've written our calculate acceleration method signature, you do not want to be passing in time first, because that will get stored in our V0 variable, and then that'll mess up our calculation within our method. So you want to always make sure when you're passing in multiple arguments that they match the correct parameters in your method signature. So after we do that, all we have to do then is go ahead and display the acceleration. And we will just go ahead and do that. First, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in an empty println statement to add some empty row to our output, and then we'll do another system.out.println, and we're just going to, the average acceleration is, and then it'll be our acceleration variable. Okay, so it looks like we have everything that we need for our program, so we're going to go ahead and run that. So let me just go ahead and compile it first to see if it compiles. Well, it looks like it compiled. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and run it. And again, what we want to enter is 5.5 for our initial velocity, 50.9 for our ending velocity, and 4.5 for our time. And what we get back is the average acceleration is 10.0888888889. And let's see, that looks like that is the correct value that our program should be determining. So again, what we did in this program is we created a program that uses two methods. One of the methods, you did not pass any arguments to the methods, and the method did not return a value. That's why we specified void for the return type. And then our second method, which was calculate acceleration, where we actually passed in three arguments to the function or method, and the method actually returned a value back, which we saved in acceleration. So that's all I wanted to go through in this Java methods programming example.